Welcome to the Frogs and Grog experience. We ask that you silence your cell phones and give us your undivided attention.
Like and subscribe, and leave your answer to the weekly question in the comments. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Frogs and Grog.
Welcome back, Frogs and Grogs.
Yes. Today we've got a rant episode incoming.
Oh yeah.
Things we're angry about, things we're just pissed off about, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Today we're talking about movies with video game logic, or just media with video game logic. We were talking about movies at the beginning, but now it's kind of like mostly all media that we're gonna kind of be like, what the frick, you know?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like media with video game logic in it because it's easy to understand and it's kind of fun. But
visually, like it's a very good way to visualize stuff.
Right. Correct. But we don't like it. We hate it. I hate it.
I personally like, most of the time, if I'll be like looking for a new anime to watch or something, and it's the first episode, they're like, "Oh, here's my stat block." I'll just be like, "Nope."
Yeah.
Nope.
No, exactly. I think, especially when it comes to anime specifically, but just media in general, it may be an easy way for audiences to understand what's going on, but it's also not very creative.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it's kind of the same thing, copy paste over and over and over again across different media, right? So
it's a very tell don't show thing. It's like the ultimate form of whatever it's called whenever you do that.
Right. Yeah. There are some good and bad examples we have of movies that use and don't use video game logic to like describe things. Not just movies, but also other media. And yeah, how they describe power levels and interpret those things for an audience. So let's talk about some of those.
Yes. I kind of want to start with the Jumanji one.
Ah, yeah.
So, the original Jumanji, I thought it was great.
Oh, yeah. Like the OOG? Like the really old one?
They're going in board game.
Oh, yeah.
Very analog, very old, classic.
Right.
Then they made the movies, and they introduced, like, the video game stuff. The newer movies, I guess I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like them as much. They were fine to watch.
Right.
They had some funny jokes in them. But the thing that irked me the most about it was all of the video game type, like, I don't know. I guess it's just like jargon and misinformation about video games.
Yes,
more so.
I agree. I
mean, yeah, there's a lot of different ways to build a video game, and there's a lot of different ways to play video games. But, like, the way that they did it was just such a generic, like, video game.
Right.
Where they could have made, like, interesting things about it being a video game. It was just the same as it being a board game, essentially. Right. Except they had stats.
Exactly. It was... Oh my gosh. Yeah, stat windows are cringe. Make up a reason to why this character has this ability. It's like, oh, I have this ability where I can grapple an opponent with my whip. Cool. This guy's got a whip. That's all you need. You don't need to say, oh, I have this ability. Not that that's in the movie. Got a whip. But, like, oh, I have a second, like, if you have, like, a revive or a second life or whatever like that, you have a special amulet, you know, that will revive you once upon death. And you just, like, it's some ancient amulet that you got from your father or whatever. Like, dude, come up with some reason other than just be like, stat sheet. Yeah, you have this ability. Like, bro, come on. And obviously, yes, there are abilities that's like, oh yeah, you can do this cool move with your sword. All right, have the character show off some of those abilities and be like, yeah, I was trained in the art of the sword, right? Instead of stat window, yeah, you can do sixfold flash of slash of light, not flash, slash of light, like
Mm-hmm.
our friend from Overlord there. Don't remember his name off the top of my head. Wow. I
Don't
literally was
remember.
just watching it the other day. I feel so sad. Anyways, so I agree. Um, they used a lot of video game jargon, and like, yeah, it was supposed to be a video game movie and stuff, and so it's supposed to feel related to a video game, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my favorite thing. It really is not.
I don't know. I just feel like they never use enough elements
Mhm.
from a video game to call it a video game movie,
Right.
and they never use enough movie elements for it to be called like a movie.
Right. It's always either way too movie or way too video game. But I feel
Uh-huh.
like the ones that go way too movie usually are more successful and better than the ones that go way too video game. Because at that
I
point,
agree.
why watch a movie when you can just go play a game? Right.
Exactly. Or why even write a movie about a video game whenever you could just write a movie with like an original concept?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's another thing too. Now, obviously, there are some video game movies that like people are excited for that I'm excited for, like the Elden Ring movie. I hope it doesn't end up being like, guys, we got to get 900 more runes so we can level up our endurance more. Come on, like
I
we
I
cannot
really
have
hope
that.
that it takes after the manga because the manga
Hmm.
is weird, but I
I
love it.
haven't read it. Is it
You
pretty
got to
good?
do it. I
Okay,
got to let you borrow it.
maybe I'll just order some of them or something.
Hmm.
But what was I gonna say? Like okay, another big thing that irks me about a lot of these is a lot of video games have like really deep lore that you could explore and expand
Oh
upon
yeah.
to make a movie, but instead they just make something stupid. So
They
like,
make it about the main characters
right, they just
of
make
the
them
game.
correct, which yeah, even main characters and stuff, but like for example, Elden Ring, they have so much they can do with that, and like the director seems like a really good guy, so I hope they expand something from the lore past or the lore
Or
future
what
or
if they
something
did
like that.
something about like the land of reeds?
Yeah,
Because we know
exactly.
zero about the land of reeds.
Right. And so they have a lot of different options and directions they could go there instead of just, oh yeah, we're gonna copy the video game, right?
Yep, we're
And
gonna follow one person's journey to become the Elden Lord, and
hmm
that's it.
it's like, bro, I would just rather go play Elden Ring then, right? So,
Exactly.
um, fortunately, most video game movies are pretty good about not doing that. I just hope this one doesn't turn into that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Usually, they're pretty good about creating some sort of original story set in a world with those characters. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, that one doesn't turn out that way. I'm sure people will be disappointed if it does. But
Agreed.
one example we have that we really dislike the whole stat window thing and using numbers to say, oh, this is your level is solo leveling.
Yes.
Um,
Um,
you go.
I don't
You go.
know. I just think it's like it's a good show, and I
Mm-hmm.
love the animation and
Mm-hmm.
the story. Obviously, it's not a great story,
Mm. It's kind of
but it's fun to watch.
mm-hmm.
It's fun to just turn your brain off and watch Guy go kill things.
Right, right.
But I don't like how they classify his like abilities as a stat where he's
Yep.
like, "Oh, let me just raise my strength up real quick. Oh, I'm doing push-ups. Oh, but look, now I can raise my strength more." That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you
Yeah.
do push-ups which raises your strength and then raise your stat that's strength?
Right.
But it's like
It's really odd. And like it's supposed yeah, okay. I'm trying to think of okay. I'm not gonna say a lot because I've read the entire light novel,
Mhm.
so I know everything about this show. Uh I'm not gonna spoil anything because no one knows anything at this point
Hmm.
about what's going on. So anyways, but I will say one good example we have in there, honestly, that makes that or like is every other hunter and how they're evaluated. It's like it's not a great um way to convey to the audience, oh hey, this is how strong this person is, but it keeps it mysterious. They literally just touch this stone, it tells you, yeah, you're this level, right?
Mhm.
Which
Do this rank.
at face value seems like, oh, well, that's like a terrible example. That's stupid. Like, why don't they do something like Sung Jin Woo where they give him a stat window and stuff, or like give him some numbers and stuff, something like that, to like relay any information to us. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's personally better because obviously every single one of these characters has different journeys they've taken to get to this point. We can't see all that, and that's why it's usually accumulated in numbers. But also, like it adds a sort of mystery to how you get to a certain level or a rank, and in
Mm-hmm.
solo leveling you can't increase your rank once you have it, right? And so
Also, it does add a little bit of cushion for the author
exactly,
as well,
exactly.
because then they're not like, oh, this character is level 17 and he's got 700 strength, and then they forget about that,
Right.
and another character that has 500 strength easily bests them in a strength competition or something.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah.
Right, exactly. And so you can what's the word? Like there's a lot of wiggle room you have as an author with that sort of system, but also it just makes it more realistic because some people might be the same level but they're better at different things, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's hard to like get hard numbers for everybody and say, yeah, this is exactly how strong this guy is. You know, adding a little bit of mystery to it, adding a little bit of wiggle room, making it a little more vague, like a little more vague, while also still clearly defining the boundaries between the different ranks. Being like, yeah, A ranks are pretty freaking strong compared to B ranks, and like they give you an example of like, oh yeah. They can do this while a B rank probably couldn't, or you need like four or
Mm-hmm.
five B ranks to do this. So you still get like an idea of their power level without just being specific, being like, yeah, he's got like 700 strength. It's like,
Yeah.
so
Oh, that
what?
boss needs 500 strength to beat, and he's got 700, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, I think that's a little bit more clever than just, yeah, here's your stat window, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I like that better.
I agree. Um,
Okay, what else do we? Okay. Another example I wanted to talk about is actually Overlord. How they're really good at transitioning from video game to regular
mm,
like world and stuff because they still have like, oh, here's my skill, which is like,
yeah.
like that's still a little cheesy and it's still a little
To
too
be fair, though, on
very
that
video
one,
gamey, but
it
yep,
is he did get transported into a video game world, kind of,
exactly. And
which.
so what they're good about doing, I know because I love this show, I've watched it 4 times. Okay,
Mhm.
they're good about taking video game jargon and stuff and making it more realistic. They're
Yeah.
taking video game systems and logic and turning it into an actual world that this guy is living in. And so he starts going on a rant about, oh, this item from Yggdrasil, and everyone's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, never mind, I stand like just ignore that. Or he'll
Yeah.
talk about like I have these spells and stuff that I know from this world playing a video game, and I can feel like how much mana I have instead of having to see a bar, you know?
Yep.
And so he knows like class restriction stuff and all that, and like, oh, I can't use a sword because I'm a mage and that's a class restriction in Yggdrasil, but also like you're just not built to be a sword fighter in this world. It's and
Yep.
so he like exploits the world slightly because he knows the video game logic and stuff. And it's like it's
Mhm.
super fun. I think they did a really good job at like, oh yeah, there's lore reasons for why this video game logic makes sense in this world, and also why this video game logic doesn't make sense, right?
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
love Overlord for that.
I agree. It definitely mixes it better and makes it feel better. Like, again, with the Jumanji, they're really similar situations,
Mm-hmm.
but Overlord makes it feel like uh the stats are like
Mm-hmm.
real things.
Right. Exactly.
Jumanji, it doesn't really like incorporate it well enough, in my opinion, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I would say something about Sword Art Online, but it's literally just a giant
Yeah,
video game people get
yeah.
stuck in. Like
It's
that
just
that's
a video
fine.
game.
Just it is a video game. And so they do okay at that. And everyone's like, I've got a stat window and I've got these stats and stuff. Because it's a video game. Like you
Because
can't say
they're
anything.
playing a game.
They're literally playing a game. So that one's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about our next little point here?
Yes. Which one is that?
Uh talking about guilds and ranks and stuff.
Ooh, yes. So I we both agreed that guilds and ranks are a better way of doing it. Like with solo leveling, how they had the rank, but I
Hmm.
personally think guilds are like the best way to do it because that's a way of showing that the characters have showed their strength and are recognized by like a higher power, not really higher power, but like government system that they're
Right.
showing that they're strong. And
Correct.
you may have a character that comes in and they're S rank and you've never seen the character before, but they're known to be S rank, and you're
Hmm.
like, oh, okay, well we know this character's strong because they're officially recognized as strong.
Exactly.
So I think that that's like a better way to put the magic system in
Hmm.
because it's showing, not telling.
Right. Exactly. It's all based off your feats, and rather than oh yeah, your number. You know.
Feet. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
No, you gotta say it. You gotta say
Okay.
it now.
Feet starts shaking it.
Shaking it, dude. I love Instagram Brayron. It's great.
Uh,
Um. Okay. Also, we wanted to touch on magic systems and like
yep,
magic being
we've done
determined.
a magic system review before, so we'll keep it
Right.
a little bit brief. But
Right. But basically, we like how oh yeah, you have this divinity towards this magic, or you have or not divinity, excuse me, affinity towards this magic, you know, and that's determined by this crystal that tells you that instead of yeah, you just have this magic because your stat window tells you, right?
and now you
Again,
know this spell and this spell and this spell.
exactly. No, you gotta learn that shiz, bud,
Mm-hmm.
bucko. So anyways, that one's very light, but it's like yeah, you know this magic because you're this age now, and you got you got recognized by this crystal that's like, oh yo, you're good at this magic, you know. Now go learn some spells about it instead of
Go learn how to use it. I'm
you
just telling you what
unlocked
you might be good
this.
at.
Right, exactly. Yeah, okay. We're kind of at the end here. We're
Yep.
gonna talk about our question.
Yes.
So being hypocritical here, what do you guys
This is
think your
irony.
right
This is strictly
straight irony
irony.
irony exactly? What do you think your stat sheet would look like if you
Yes.
guys made a small stat sheet? We made a small stat sheet. Shat sheet. Wow,
Chat sheet.
wow, a stat sheet. That's crazy. We made a stat sheet for ourselves. We're gonna go over
Mm-hmm.
them really quick with you. Okay. Do you want to start, Levi? You can start.
Yes. So our basic stat sheet model
Mm-hmm.
that we have, we've got a name at the top, obviously. You've got your level, your XP, your strength, your intelligence, endurance, charisma, and skill proficiencies, which is like 4, 5 proficiencies that you think you have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for the level, we put our ages.
Yep.
XP is uh, let's see,
Your age times 365,
age
and
times
then you add
365.
270 for the 9 months you're in the womb, right?
Yep. Every
Yep.
day you get 1 experience point.
Yep. And so that means the womb is the tutorial, right? You're still
Yep.
grinding XP there.
And you only get XP on your birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's why we don't have it like strictly fully done.
Exactly. It's not like to the day, but your
Mm-hmm.
XP updates every year, as does
Yep.
your level. There you go.
Uh,
um, what
all
was I
right.
saying?
So what I've got,
Oh
I'm a
yeah.
level.
Also, all the
Oh,
stats, sorry, are from 0 to 100.
that's right. I was gonna say that earlier, but then I totally got sidetracked.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. All right, go for it.
All right. So I'm Levi, level 20, 700 or no 7,570 XP. My strength is at a 40 out of 100. Intelligence 45 out of 100. Endurance is 55 out of 100. I'm doing well on that one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And charisma, it's a 10, but you guys obviously see the podcast, and so we
Yeah.
get a podcast bonus on
Right.
top of our regular charisma. which is
Mm-hmm.
plus 20. So that's
Mm-hmm.
a 30 in charisma.
Yes.
Uh, my skill proficiencies are I have the Jack of all trades
Yep.
bonus.
Mm-hmm.
That means I'm decent at a lot of things, not great at anything.
Mm.
Uh, video games are a skill of mine. I have
Mm-hmm.
computer skills, and I'm typically seen as the IT person among any group I'm in. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and my last one is endless patience because I think I'm a very patient person.
Mm. There you go.
And that's my little list.
All right. W. Round of applause. Round of
Golf
applause.
clap, golf clap.
Oh. Anyways, I'm Jack. I'm level 21. I got 7,935 XP. Okay. Um. So here I've got strength as my highest stat at 52 because I'm a decently active, fit person.
Mm.
My intelligence is at 50. Um. So it's decent. I'm about halfway. I put my endurance at 40. I'm not like the I don't have a lot of stamina. I have a decent amount of stamina, but
Mm.
like there are definitely times where like, oh, that knocked the wind out of me. I'm done, you know.
Yo.
And then my charisma is also 10, but again, I get a 20 podcast bonus, so we're at 30 temporarily. It's like equipping a talisman, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You guys, you don't see us outside of
Mm-mm.
podcast
No.
for most of you, so you don't know this, but zero charisma, or sorry, 10 charisma.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh man, that would be a funny story to tell on the podcast eventually. But this I've fumbled many interactions with people, specifically women. It's great. It's great. So,
Yes,
anyways,
Valentine's Day episode coming soon. Next
real.
Valentine's
How many
Day.
women we fumbled? Crazy. Um.
Fumbling the episode.
So my skill proficiencies. One of those in there is a joke. We'll get there, all right? It's the joke of the no. So my first proficiency is that I'm a fast learner. I can pick up pretty much any skill I want to. I just
Hmm.
have to want to, right? Um,
Yep.
like I've been a mechanic, not mechanic, but like I've been working at a dealership for 3 years now in the service department, and I'm pretty decent at that now. But before that, never touched a car, never changed oil, never did
Hmm.
breaks, never did anything, you know. And so that, and now I'm fairly proficient, yeah.
Yep.
um, so under that list, I have basic vehicle maintenance there. I can do pretty much anything basic vehicle maintenance wise to a vehicle. Um, that's a skill I picked up with my fast learner skill, so it gives me a
Yes.
20% boost to learning skills, you know.
Exactly.
Um, I also have the lore or historian skill. I'm really good at memorizing lore or history. I love all of that and like stories and things like that. And so I'm very good at compiling those in my head. And I
Hmm.
also love seeking it out. So, uh, like I love Elden Ring lore. I love history when it comes to like certain countries, depending on the country. I love Star Wars lore. I also what do we really like information like the Terraria Calamity Wiki. So that's pretty cool.
Dude, you know like everything on the Calamity
It's
Wiki.
bad. It's bad. You
It's
guys will be like, "Oh, how do I
wild.
make this?" I'm like, "This item, this item, this item, and you need this many." It's bad.
It's crazy because you'll just be like, we'll be playing, and I'll say like an item that's really obscure for a class you probably haven't even played,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh yeah, this. I'm like, what?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, "Yeah, this is where you get these too."
It's wild.
It's funny. I love it. And then my last skill is that I'm a master builder, guys. Uh, love Legos. I have three gigantic tubs of Lego behind me,
Same here
and
actually. I have
I can
two, but
build for hours and hours and hours. I also master build as in the joke that ha ha ha, it sounds like masturbating. Just kidding. I'm joking.
master builder.
We went to a Lego store recently. It was pretty fun, and we were building some fun little mocks there. That was interesting.
Yeah, that
That's
was a
what made
lot of
me think
fun.
of master building. But like, we literally just picked up a bunch of random pieces. Honestly, you could have the master builder skill as well. I
Yeah,
think you could have it. But like, we
fair
picked up a
enough.
bunch of random pieces, put some shit together, and we're like, yeah, this is pretty dope. Anyways, that's that's my stat sheet. It's great.
Yeah, dude, we've got the best stat sheets.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Let us know your stat sheets.
yeah, if
You can use our template or not.
mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna link it in the description because
No,
I don't want to.
no, just listen to the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
We described it pretty well, and it's fairly basic. But at the end of the day, I believe stat sheets are the worst way to summarize who a person is
Agreed. Like
because
these, if I were to read one of these for another person that I
mm-hmm,
didn't know, like
mm-hmm,
this would convey no information to me.
exactly. It really doesn't like define a person or their abilities well,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like because in a video game, right? That's
Yep.
the only way you can know a character right off the bat, or a character that's obscure and supposed to like not really have like a backstory or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like I mean like in Elden Ring, for example, you're the Tarnished. You just woke up from being dead, bro. Like
Just
what?
woke up
You know?
from not existing.
Exactly. And so you create a background for your character, so it has a certain amount of stats, and you build your character how you want the way you or as you play the game, and it's like sets up a specific play style and all that stuff, and like it's cool, but it like you can't do that in real life. It doesn't summarize a person well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is unique. Not everyone has 50 intelligence or 55 endurance, you know.
Or 700 intelligence.
Right, exactly. Like everyone's different, and a stat sheet isn't a great way of conveying who people are, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, that's
And I
kind
think
of
that definitely shows in media.
oh yeah, exactly. That's kind of what our rant was supposed to, convey. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
thanks for listening, you guys,
Yep.
to
Stay groggy.
Frogs and Grog. Stay groggy.
See you in the next one.
Leaving so soon. Hope we see you next time.